I don't always know what the truth is, and I've certainly repeated a lot of things that were lies, but I've certainly said a ton of things that were wrong, but I am trying to tell the truth. I am.
When did you kind of notice the weaponization of mainstream media start to happen?
I mean, it's like you're too close to things, you don't get it at all. I didn't realize how totally corrupt. It's actually the most corrupt institution in the United States by far. What do I know? It's the only one I've worked in, but I can say it's fundamentally corrupt. Like there's no non-corrupt part, period. I'm coming to this late in life, and I'm coming to it cold from working in the institutional media for over 30 years to all of a sudden not in the last year. And I'm amazed by podcasts. I just think, talk about it on a likely vector for truth. A podcast? The idea that people would sit and listen to something for like hours is the opposite of what was happening in my world. Not only was the media, which is a source of all of our information, degrading and becoming not only more corrupt, but more obviously corrupt, but our educational system was completely collapsed. The humanities collapsed. There's no education, like none. That's not an overstatement. No one learns anything in college, like at all. It's only in the humanities. I'm sure electrical engineering is different, veterinary school is different, but in the sort of broad middle of like, I'm going to take English, history, communications, media study, all this, it's all fake. Curiosity died in the media. They're now officially opposed to curiosity. Just asking questions is a crime. In fact, it's my crime, I have noticed. But as the mainstream media, the big media companies were becoming like just arms of the government and just like full North Korea media landscape. Like no one knows anything. It's all lies. That is where we are. I can say that with great authority, having worked there my whole life. There was this incredible renaissance happening in the most unlikely of mediums, this podcast.
We're now giving the Taliban $40 million a week. Did you know that?
I'm not surprised at all.
$40 million a week. We spent 20 plus years fighting over there, the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and now just on the drop of a hat, $40 million a week, which we'll find out in a later interview, it's actually upwards of $87 million a week.
So, but why in the world would any 9/11 document remain classified?
Yeah.
What's the possible rationale in keeping any of that classified? However, secrecy is a slightly different thing and a sinister thing, actually. Why in a democracy would we have big secrets? Particularly decades down the road or 80 years down the road, or in the case of the Kennedy assassination, 61 years down the road. Well, of course, the only reason is to keep misdeeds hidden. That's the only reason, period.
I've heard you talk several times on Building 7. So that building got reported being down 26 minutes before it actually fell. And you can't...
Totally normal.
Yeah, right? There's a woman on BBC...
Shut up, conspiracy theorist.
There's a woman on TV on BBC talking about...
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, talking about how the building is already down, has already collapsed, and it's right behind her.
Well, let me just
26 minutes later, the building collapsed.
I'm not a structural engineer. A lot of people think what happened to Building 7 seems impossible. A lot of structural engineers have written this and think that seems impossible. It seems impossible to me too, but I don't know. All I know is that as in the case that I described with NATO and Trump, if your answer to a sincere question like, how did that happen, is shut up, it's to attack me for asking the question, then I know you're rotten. I know you're serving evil. I mean, that's the hallmark of it. You're attacking me for asking an obvious question? Really? You can't attack me for that. You certainly can't punish me for it, but they will. So that just tells you that they're bad, period. Now, how bad? I don't know the answer to that. In what ways exactly are they bad? I don't know, but they've already showed me they are bad.
I feel like we're being pushed into civil war.
Yes. Oh, of course.
Who do you think is pushing? I mean,
it's all on instinct.
With the weaponization of media, social media, bots, I mean, all this, all the lies in the division. I mean,
of course.
Who do you think is pushing it? Or are we already in it?
Well, we're already in it. We're in definitely an undeclared conflict. It's a conflict, of course. Divide and conquer. Like, fight amongst yourselves. hey, white guy, it's the black guy's fault. Black guy, the white guy is impressing you or whatever. Racism is America's biggest problem, right? Okay. You're trying to make me think that something that's not the most important thing is the most important thing. And why are you trying to do that? And, we can only guess, but it's bad. It's sinister. That is absolutely sinister. And again, coming from the news business, a lifetime in it, I know that there's a reason. I don't know what it is. And I also don't know if the people pushing it know exactly what it is.